Okay, welcome to another episode. This one is gonna be about another reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I think you said this in the last one where we talked about the other reaction that people probably gonna say what they want to say or say what they feel they need to say because just because of the subject and what we're going to talk about. So leave your comment and do what you need to do. You know, we know that by us saying this and putting it out there, you know, people are going to judge, people are going to say. So,
Right.
But our whole point of this is so people can see, right? So people can have an idea of what it is to spread awareness. Because if we mess up as parents, we don't want to put our kid in danger at all, and we still messed up.
This is our second time messing up.
Yeah. How can we expect somebody that has no idea
Right.
about allergies or the precautions that you need to take?
So from the first reaction, they're peanuts, M&M. She was 3.
Mm-hmm.
This is her second reaction. She is how old?
I think she's 6.
6 years old. So about 3 years apart.
Yes.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, because it was right before she started school.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't in school yet. It was before, so let's go ahead and talk about it. So this one happened, and this was a reaction to her other allergen, eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So the first reaction was to peanuts. So this one was to eggs. And this one happened while it was just me and her.
Right.
So that day, can't remember what day it was, but whatever day it was, we went to Sam's, not Costco, Sam's to buy, the bulk of stuff, and it was just me and her at Sam's, and I got a box of Lucky Charm, like a breakfast bar.
Mm-hmm. Cereal bar. Right.
Yeah, like a cereal bar, Lucky Charms. She loves Lucky Charms, so. And she had previously had a cereal bar from Lucky Charms.
Right.
So I don't know if, since it was just me and her, a lot of people at Sam's, that when I read the ingredients that was listed on the box, I still put it in the cart. So I'm going to assume that it didn't click, it didn't register, or I got distracted for a second, and then when I finished reading it, something happened, right?
Right.
Something happened that I still put it in the cart, bought it, brought it home. We got home, trying to put everything up, and she wanting a snack. Then you were coming home, you were on your way home then, because you were on the phone with me. It was just a lot of stuff going on at once that I didn't take a minute to stop and do what we've been doing for years, which was read before giving her something.
Double and triple check.
Yes. So she wanted something. I was, distracted.
Right.
And I gave her a bar. As soon as she took the first bite, like maybe she swallowed half of that bite.
Uh-huh.
Like it wasn't a lot. She said, my tongue itches.
That was always one of her keys, is her tongue was itching when something was to happen, or when she got a reaction, especially to eggs.
Yes.
It was the tongue.
So it was
quick.
It was super quick. So at that moment, as soon as she said, my tongue itches, I was like, what? So I went, she was just eating that. So I was like, okay, stop. Let me read. And I was like, because I was on the phone with you, and I was like, it has eggs.
Right.
Oh my God. I couldn't freak out because it was just me and her, but I was freaking out. But it was just like, you know, here we go again. It's just me and her. Like, she's already showing like symptoms. I want to say I stay on the phone with you. Just, I had you on the phone. I got in my car, put her in the car, and I drove to the hospital.
Straight to the hospital.
And, a lot of stuff, it's like, it happened so fast that I can't, remember everything. But we got to the hospital, told them, this happened. I gave her something. It had eggs. She's allergic to eggs. And they were like, so how does she present his symptoms? Like, what happens? I said, well, I don't know. She has never had it before. So, what she said is that she felt it in her tongue, like it itchy. That's how she call it. When she start feeling that tingling sensation when it's going numb. And so they took us back to the room. You were on your way straight from work.
Right.
To the hospital. And we went in there. As soon as we got there, she just started throwing up and like just nonstop. She had whelps, and it was different than her peanut reaction. For one, she felt it instantly. As soon as she ate it, as soon as she had it in her mouth, the throwing up was coming. I guess she both peanuts and eggs have that one in common, but for eggs she get whelps, like you can see it
raised up. You can feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say when all that started, you got to the hospital.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when I got there. I do remember a little bit about her throwing up, and her throwing up is. So both times I remember, actually every time it's ever happened, her throwing up is terrible. Throw up a lot. It's hard. It's tough. It's you see her throwing up, and it's like she's just straining, and I think it's worse after she empties her stomach, and she's trying to throw up, and she just can't get nothing up. And it looks like she's about going to squeeze herself in two, where she's trying to, I guess, throw up so hard.
Yeah. I guess it's her body trying to get everything out. And that's the part that it's the hard, just seeing her go through that, and just it's hurting, because her belly won't stop hurting. By that time they had gave her. We didn't use the epi.
Second time we didn't use the epi, right?
One, because it was just me, and then I was driving to the hospital. I don't know. It was just not. It, it's like it's happening, and every time it has happened, you're like what you're supposed to do, but it's like.
So even on her second reaction, was it clear then that we were supposed to use the epi?
Maybe it was, but it wasn't. So I know after the first reaction, right? They did mention, right, that we should use the epi, right, if she had another reaction. But I guess since it was to eggs, I just didn't put two and two together. But for this, after that one that we knew for sure she ate it, we should have used it, and that's what the doctor told me afterwards. Like her pediatrician. Just because, like you have said, after one reaction, the second reaction, it's worse.
Right.
Even though they were two different, I think I don't know if we still should count it as 1 and 2. Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to.
So I think I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it is separate reactions.
Could be.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not 100% sure, but like if you have a reaction to peanuts and then you have another reaction to peanuts, it will double.
Yeah.
Right? If you have a reaction to peanuts and then you have a reaction to eggs, I think that's number 1 for peanuts, and then I think that's number 1 for eggs. Like I said, I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think that's how that goes.
Yeah,
Probably need to look that up. I might confirm that in episode 18.
Yeah.
Do some research on that and make sure that's right.
And like I said, we're not, whatever you're listening, it's not something you need to go and do. Check and double check.
Yeah, this is all. This is just our opinion. Is all it is. Us telling, us explaining everything, how we experienced it, and then how our daughter experienced it. And we're not doctors by no means.
And we have messed up, and that's why we're showing it. So, that we're not just here talking because we're perfect and this and that. No, we're just saying it so you can see it, and like from our point of view.
So these Lucky Charms, they come in little square bars. They're wrapped, and a lot of times when you're on the same brand, it has same color, same logo, and a lot of it's the same. And you get so used and so used to her having a certain Lucky Charms cereal bar, and she's ate this cereal bar, not this particular cereal bar, but a Lucky Charms cereal bar several times. She's had this cereal bar, I don't know, 20, 30 times, several times. And on this one, so I don't know if it was I'm guessing it was a different flavor, possibly.
I think it was something like, like the chewy crunchy, and then they have like a soft bake.
Yeah.
So I think that was different.
Something like that was different, and that's when it got the eggs in it. And like you said, when we read these ingredients list and where it's manufactured and how it's manufactured and equipment it's on and all this stuff, you really have to take time. And I take my finger and I'll go over every ingredient on it and try to go over every single thing, even when nuts and eggs and milk, soy, and
it's listed.
Wheat. It's supposed to be listed down there in bold letters, right? And I still go over it because we had another reaction, and we'll get into this into a later episode, that had it in a candy bar, but it was not listed in bold letters.
Yeah.
But it was listed in the ingredients, and we didn't see it. And I'm pretty sure it's how the wrapper on the back of the candy bar was folded.
I think
it's
so.
how we missed it. We'll get into that one in another episode.
And
go ahead.
Sorry, I just thought of just like especially from that we're talking about Sam's and buying this from Sam's. We have bought stuff like in bulk, right? Like the pasta, that it's the ingredient or the allergy warning. It's not listed on the box that's holding the pasta, but then when we took out the little boxes out of that box, the allergen was there.
So I've learned on some things, especially with the pasta. There's like the spaghettis and I think the rigatonis and stuff like that she can have. But when it comes to some of the shells and the elbows and stuff like that, she cannot have them because there's eggs in it. And I don't know if that's what it takes to make an elbow or something like that. And I'm not sure if it's elbows, but I know there's some pastas she can't have because they got eggs. And it's the same company can have a different kind of pasta, and it's either got it or it don't have it.
Yeah. But we bringing all this up in the reaction because of how important it is to read the labels and to read it, even if you have ate it 100 times.
Still have to look at it.
You still have to look at it every single time. And
so right now we go through a process. Whoever reads it first, especially if it's something new, it'll get read 4 and 5 times now.
I think even when it's something new, we read it 3 or 5 times. And even after, while she's eating it, I'm like, let me see it again. It's like, because I know, we have messed up. We have missed it.
Yeah. So you just got to read it and double check it. So we go through a process. I'll read it, and then Maria will read it, and then now Irene's included in this process. And if our son is around Robert, he'll read it. You just cannot check enough on it because mistakes have been made by us, and we've read it, and being distracted or not giving it 110% of your attention, you miss stuff, and you don't think you will, but you do, and it's not that hard.
It just takes a second to get distracted.
Just takes a second to let your mind slip. And here's the thing, like we was talking about on these Lucky Charms cereal bars, she can have it, and you can eat this same candy bar for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden, this one was a little bit different, right? But it is possible for this same candy bar that she's been eating for years, can all of a sudden the ingredients change in it, or all of a sudden be processed on different equipment with other items that have eggs or something like that. So even though he's had this item for y'all's kids, you definitely, and you still have to stay on top of these ingredients and read them every single time. I'll tell you another good one. This is a little bit off topic, but the Hershey bars that we use for like s'mores and stuff like that. There is, I don't know what it is. A lot of times if you buy in bulk, like the 6-pack, she can't have those because it'll be manufactured on same equipment with nuts, I believe.
Yeah, so she cannot have the little ones.
Mm-hmm. You know, the big bar,
the big
what
bars
we get for s'mores.
Yeah, so.
But if we do the individually wrapped Hershey's bar, and it's not all of these, but a majority of these, she can have.
Yeah, because even the individual wrapped of the little ones, she cannot
have them. Right.
So it's a lot of reading and finding.
A lot of reading, and you're honestly, your mind will play tricks on you sometimes because you've seen this wrapper, you've seen it over and over and over that he or she can have it, and then all of a sudden she can't have it. And I know we mentioned this in an episode, maybe 14 or 15, the hot dog buns. She had a certain hot dog bun that we was getting, and we'd probably got those hot dog buns, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 times. And all of a sudden, she couldn't have it because it was...
Was it manufactured? Was it equipment?
I'm pretty sure it was processed on the same equipment.
I think those are the most common ones.
And I really wish that they would put some kind of notification somewhere, some kind of star, some kind of highlighted. I know it kind of messes with their labeling or this, that, and the other, but I wish there was a better way of communicating that.
I mean, even if it's like a warning on the packaging itself, like allergy warning or ingredient change warning, or something
right,
that will make us, not that we don't, because we do now, like you said, we have our our thing that we do to check and double check and triple check, but it just kind of gives you a little bit, hey, you do need to read it and reread it because something has changed with this product. Because I think that's something that we have encountered throughout the years a lot.
Changing
ingredients or changing to where now it's processed in equipment.
Yeah, equipment and facilities. But I think equipment, like you was hitting on a minute ago, that is more of a popular change. And it's all based off of production. I mean, like when we've kind of got into that a little bit also. It's every bit of it's based on production and getting that number out. Um, that's just why we as parents, we have to be diligent. We have to be more aware, and we have to pay attention when we're reading these ingredients.
We have to. I think that's something that you will never can never relax or be like, oh, I'm used to this kind of thing, because just because they keep changing, and just because you can get distracted within a second, and just
As soon as you get distracted, she's had this bar for 10 years, and as soon as you let your guard down,
yes, that's the
something
thing.
it will get you,
Yeah.
and you'll regret it. You got to keep focused on these ingredients and everything that she's eating. We talked to her a lot about this also, making sure she knows, making sure she understands. She herself, she lets her guard down a lot.
Yeah.
And we've been talking to her about, actually we haven't been on her in the last little bit, but there for a while we was trying to get her to pay more attention to what she was eating. And we probably need to get back on that, honestly.
She gets comfortable,
Yeah, she does.
and that's something that like you said, we probably need to bring up and talk to her about it again. She needs to always make sure, and there's so many things, little things that people don't think about, right? That she has to be aware of, and not just the ingredients. And as we go through this podcast, we're gonna bring it up and more and more and more, just simple things that nobody really thinks about, right? Like if I were to give her a kiss just after finish eating a egg biscuit or something, that was fried with eggs, or making sure she doesn't drink from my cup, just holding her hand after us eating something.
Yeah.
Like washing hands. It's like, it's
So
number
you can
one
wash
thing.
it. And here's another thing too that people get confused, right? Hand sanitizer does not kill the proteins that will cause a breakout. You literally need to go wash in
With soap and water.
soap and warm water and dry your hands. You can put hand sanitizer on there, and that will not kill the proteins that will cause her to break out. Now, with that being said, she keeps hand sanitizer on her book bag. She keeps tons of hand sanitizer, and we promote it here in the house. Constantly washing hands. I do it a lot when I cook, just to keep. I'm terrible with paper towels, but a lot of it honestly is for that reason right there whatsoever. Because I wash my hands. I'll be cooking, and I bet I wash my hands while I'm cooking. I bet 30 times just when I'm cooking. I'm constantly going back over, washing my hands, and getting a clean paper towel, not one I used before. Clean paper towel, dry my hands, patting my hands dry, and throwing it away. By the way, we're out of hand soap up in the kitchen.
And I think it's like something you get used to, because we tried 99% of what we cook here she can have. Maybe 1% here and there we do something that, because we know she will definitely not try it or definitely not eat it, that we bear out, like try
So we made
something
several
different.
things. Like I made cornbread a couple times to where she could have it, and she never did like it. So when I do make cornbread now, I'll put an egg in it. I'll use the Jiffy ready mix or whatever for the cornbread muffins, and I love cornbread, but it just very seldom gets
Yeah.
made anymore.
But and then we always tell her, you cannot have this.
Yeah.
And while we eating, hey Irene, we're eating this. Like I said, a lot of stuff that the more we'll go.
And we try to keep a lot of that stuff separate. Like we got the bag of nuts up there. And then we got the trail mix I just got. And the chicharrones.
Yeah.
But she cannot have those. They don't have an ingredients list on it or nothing. But we kind of keep that to the side. And we make a point to let her know she can't have it. Now, we do have a box of pasta up there somewhere. In the top shelf, in the tip-top shelf. I don't even think she can get to it. I can't remember where that's at or what happened.
We
might have even gave that away.
We might still not have it anymore.
I don't know.
That's Stormy saying hi, by the way. If you guys can hear her,
I'm sure they can hear her.
That's our baby.
So the other day, she was running around the backside of the house and she started barking. Well, she's in for the night now, and we moved her into Maria's office. And
she must have heard something because she's going crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess to bring it back and kind of close out maybe the episode of her, the reaction. She went through all the symptoms. We were at the hospital for, I think, all day to almost midnight.
So if I was coming home from work, it had to be late.
You're right.
Unless it was on a Friday, which very well could have been on a Friday.
I know it was still daytime.
Even on Friday, I wouldn't have been coming home to about 5-ish, 4:35-ish, something like that.
So maybe it wasn't all day. You probably right. I don't remember exactly what day it was, what time it was, but I know we were there when I was going. It was still daytime when we came home. It was way past nighttime. But we always stayed there.
We was there all night, right?
We were there for a long time, possibly all night.
We was there all night, and I'm pretty sure we was there all night and come home the next day.
You probably right.
Yeah.
Because just the way her symptoms, and we were there, and then they sent her home with what is that medicine? I can never say.
So it's a steroid, and I can't remember what the name of the steroid is. That's the only thing I remember, right? Steroid.
Yeah,
it's in a pill form. Liquid.
And even after the reaction, she has to take it for 5 days.
Yeah. What sucks about this too is every single time she has had to take this, it boosts her immune system way up when she takes these steroids, and then after she takes them and she's kind of on the downfall of it, she gets sick every single time.
She'll
come home with a cold.
Everything.
It kills her immune system afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure we was probably at the hospital probably 14 hours.
Probably.
Because every time we've been, and the one in Tampa,
I think that was the shortest one.
I mean, and he was kind of, she didn't have a lot of reaction then. And he was kind of blowing it off like it wasn't that big of a deal. And we stayed there
a little longer than
10, 12 hours, I think, in Tampa. Was it less than that?
I think it was less than that. Because of the way that, they were trying to, and we just kind of wanted to hang out there longer, but then it got to the point, look, she kind of like, okay, we're not seeing, like you said, the way her reaction, there was nothing compared to any of the other two, but.
And here, just to hit on that while we're all talking about this is, just because she does not have a complete reaction or whatever to this, he or she, whoever it is, you can flip back into the anaphylactic shock, right? So that's like I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's like a secondary anaphylactic or something like that.
Yeah, or it could be a late reaction.
delayed
Delay.
reaction
Yeah.
or something like that, right? So if you know she's ingested it, he or she's ingested it, like I don't understand. I would be I would feel a lot better if we was just at the hospital, you know. And this is what I've told the doctors at the ER every time. I just feel better if we just hang out here a couple more hours. Let's get 14, 16 hours here, and then we can move on, right? There ain't no better place to be
Yeah.
than right there at the doctor. If something was to, her throat was to swell up or her tongue was to swell up to where she can't breathe, I would much rather be right there at the doctor, you know. So push for 24 hours. If you can stay there 18 to 24 hours, 16 hours. A lot of times the doctors, I think, will start pushing you out the door after 12, 14. But I would push. I'd stay there as long as I could. I mean, what's a day in the broad spectrum of everything? 24 hours ain't nothing, right?
Yep.
So try to stay there as long as you can in their care, and go from there.
Yeah.
But
So I think, like you said, just from what happened then, that's when we started super being strict at double checking, triple checking. And even Robert would check it after us. If he was home, he had to read it. And we
Yeah.
all got into that, because if I missed it, one of them had to catch it, or
Yep.
anyway. So like I said, with everything that happened, every reaction that we had went through, we have learned and implemented new things that will help us, or try to help us prevent another reaction.
I enjoy, and I think we're about to close this episode out, but I enjoy going and looking for new things for her. I'm constantly look if I go through if I go shopping, which we very rarely go shopping, right? We typically do online order, and but if I go shopping, I enjoy looking at new things and just reading ingredients, and it's like a scavenger hunt for me. I'm looking for something for her to have new. And that got us in trouble. And I still do it, just a little bit more careful. But that did get us in trouble, and we'll
Trying
go
to
in,
find something new.
and we'll go into that on episode 18, I guess 18 or 19. That one will be coming up soon, also. But yeah, that got me in trouble, and like I said, I still do it now, and I'm just more careful. But then, with that being said, thank y'all for listening to us.
Yep.
This was episode 17. Will be I don't know what days we're going to release yet, but we're going to release soon, and I think we're going to release on what do we say, Tuesdays and Fridays.
I think so.
So yeah, look forward to that. Like, subscribe, share. Please share. Leave your comments. Tell us what y'all thought about this episode.
Ask questions. Ask anything. Share stories. Anything.
Let us know. Let us know what y'all want us to talk about. We've been through a lot. Like I said, we're no experts by no means, but we've been through a lot. We've got a lot of years under our belt. So new parents out there, ask us questions. Shoot us a comment. Shoot us an email. We'll help you any way we can help you.
Yeah, and if you have a kid that that you have more years than us and have more any advice, anything, we'll take it. We like to hear from other parents. We like to learn their experience and see what they've been through. So just share it, whatever, with us.
You know, what's how do y'all read ingredients?
Yeah.
Um,
How do you take precautions at home?
yeah,
Anything.
let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.